Good evening, Ajahn John here. In my last video I talked about Selfie Narcissism, a phrase which I have coined, and at the end of that talk I asked the question, why do people like to post their self-portraits on Facebook or other social media and then receive likes? Or putting it another way, why do they like to be liked? Well, that should be no surprise to anyone. Whenever we get a compliment or praise, we feel good. If somebody tells me they like my new tie, or they like my new haircut, or my new shirt, I feel good about myself. This is because, as I mentioned in the previous discussion, people carry around in their mind a self-image based upon society's response to their actions and character, and when people receive a compliment, this enhances this self-image. So remember, I talked about grading yourself from 1 to 10 in terms of how much you think other people like you or admire you or think you are attractive. And every time you get some sort of praise, you can feel your grade going up. In regard to the self-portrait, this maybe has more power than other kinds of compliment, because it taps into one of society's strong values: attractiveness. Attractiveness, by this I mean physical attractiveness, is highly valued by society. If you are young and pretty or young and handsome, society will reward you with lots of good things. So this is the basic reason why people take self-portraits, then post them on social media, because they think they will be rewarded by society, who will compliment them on their attractiveness in the form of likes. However, I have often heard women say to me they want people, especially men, to like them for who they are, for their character, their personality, not only for their looks, L-O-O-K-S. So isn't this a contradiction? Young girls may post self-portraits on social media and get complimented, but is this what they really want? Or do they want people to like them for who they are, meaning for their character? Well, I suppose some people might say you should take compliments or praise wherever and however you can get it. Don't turn your nose up at any kind of compliment, even though you think it may be insincere or based on some shallow value. So what do you think about that? Do you think it is better to attract someone with your character or with your physical appearance? I think the advantages of the former is that character is something which has been achieved and which can continue to improve. Physical appearance, on the other hand, is something we don't really have much control over. We're either born with it or without it, and with age it will diminish. So if you're looking at long-term relationships, you should of course value character, not physical appearance. Physical appearance is ephemeral, EPHEMERAL, whereas character can last a lifetime. However, many people do judge a book by its cover and look only at the external appearance. It may be a long time before they look at the interior, or they may never look. I guess this all depends upon how much depth you want in your relationship and what kind of relationship you have. Of course, when people post self-portraits, they often make comments as well, and these comments may be more revealing and insightful than the picture or photo. This is just like any relationship. When you meet someone for the first time, all you initially see is their appearance, and we certainly make or form an initial impression from that. But over a short or long period of time, when we have more experience and involvement with the person, we learn what they are really like. We find out about their true character. Here's another question. Do you think the fact of posting many photos tells us something about someone's character? I think it could. It could tell us, for example, that they are proud, or it could tell us that they are insecure and deep down don't have much real self-confidence. After all, why should someone continue to look for praise all the time? Surely this is a sign of insecurity and lack of real belief in yourself. However, we can only guess at what people's character is like from the number of self-portraits they post. Here's today's essay question. I have been hearing stories in the media recently saying that Facebook users are actually mostly unhappy, and that using Facebook and other social media really makes them feel more lonely and less valuable in society. So here is the question. Does using social media like Facebook make us feel less lonely? Introduction. Nowadays there are millions and millions of people using such social media as Facebook, where they post photos of themselves, information, and make comments. In many ways it is substituting for real face-to-face relationships. Many people think today's generation spend more time communicating on their iPhones than they do face-to-face. Second paragraph. I'm going to support that Facebook users are more lonely. Initially, when you start using a social website such as Facebook, you can feel quite elated. This is because you can quite quickly acquire a great number of friends. People will ask to be your friend on Facebook. They will send you messages. They will like things which you post on your timeline. And this can all make you feel like you are close with these people and you have a real relationship. However, this is just an illusion. Relationships which only exist on social media are like phantasms. PHANTASM. They don't really exist except in electronic form, and you don't have the depth which a real relationship would have. In a real relationship, we communicate with people on many levels. We have experiences together, share emotions, and develop mutual knowledge based upon our mutual development. Using social media and communicating this way requires no sincerity, hardly any time, and no real self-revelation. People wear disguises and can hide behind the pretty pictures they post on their timeline, which we all know are only reflections of the way they want other people to see them. It is an almost totally one-sided relationship. So what happens is, after a while, people begin to realize that these so-called friends are really nothing more than electronic contacts, and this leads to some deep sense of disappointment and a stark realization, S-T-A-R-K, realization that making real friends and relationships requires much more effort and sincerity than clicking on keyboards or iPhones. Third paragraph, something in support of relationships made on social media. On the other hand, where you have a particular interest, using social media to make new contacts can be very effective. I have a friend who is interested in rare bird species, and he has joined some groups on Facebook which are composed of fellow enthusiasts, and he has made many new and genuine friends. He has met many of them in real life when they have met at bird watching activities, and has even traveled to some distant countries. Final paragraph. In conclusion, I think Facebook and other social media can lead to people becoming more lonely, because the relationships you make on these media are often very insincere and leave you feeling empty. That is the end of the essay. I don't think people, having listened to these two talks, are suddenly going to change their behavior on Facebook, because, as I have said before, any kind of attention, praise or compliment is better than none at all. So it's just a little bit too addictive. If you do have a photogenic face, then I guess it is just too tempting to post these photos on Facebook and get lots and lots of likes. Good night.